Over the course of nearly 30 years, Australian director Baz Luhrmann has only directed 6 movies. This isn't that much, and the latest from him is the Elvis Presley biopic, appropriately entitled and simply entitled Elvis. So let's talk about it. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Before we get started, click on that red subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you know whenever I post a new piece of content. So over the course of his 30-year career from Baz Luhrmann, we've gotten 6 movies. Strictly Ballroom, William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet in 1996, the movie that really put him on the map, Moulin Rouge, Australia, The Great Gatsby, and now Elvis. And what I really like and respect about Luhrmann is that every single one of his movies feels like a true experience. He's not somebody that's churned out a bunch of films. He's not like a Spielberg or a Scorsese where he's just always constantly working. So whenever he does a movie, it feels like every movie he does is a very intense passion project and something that really matters to him. I like that. I respect that. That's not something that you see in Hollywood a lot these days. So when you know one of his movies is coming out, it might not be the greatest movie ever made, but you know he's going to care, and you know he's going to give it everything he has, and you know he's going to exercise complete creative control over the film, and ultimately it's going to be what he wants you to see on the screen is what's going to be on the screen. You're not going to get any more or any less. You're going to get his entire vision up there. And I've only seen, I think, 3 of his movies. I've seen Romeo and Juliet, which I know a lot of people adore that movie. I don't really love it because I'm not a big Shakespeare guy. Despite being a theater student in high school and college, I'm just not a big Shakespeare person. Moulin Rouge, which I really, really loved, and then this. I haven't seen The Great Gatsby, Strictly Ballroom, or Australia. Although I've heard good things about all those movies to various degrees. And I kind of want to go catch up on them now that I've seen this, especially The Great Gatsby, because I know a lot of people that really like that movie, and it seems like something I would really like. So now we get Elvis, right? The king of rock and roll. Elvis Presley is still, to this day, the best-selling solo artist of all time. I don't think anybody's ever going to top him. He's the king of rock and roll. He revolutionized music. He led an incredibly tumultuous life and then got really overweight and was always on pills and ate too much and died at the age of 42. I mean, he is the epitome of a very bright star burning out well before its time. He didn't join the 27 Club. He's not like Amy Winehouse or Kurt Cobain or Bradley Nowell or Hendrix dying at the age of 27. He made it to 42, but I don't think people today really understand. I don't think young people today really understand the impact that Elvis had on the musical landscape. This guy was everywhere. He was everything. He was way ahead of his time in terms of edginess. He was willing to break through racial barriers of segregation, which were very much a thing at the time when he was really hitting his stride. And this is a really, really good movie. Do I think it's incredible? No. Do I think it's like must watch? Not really, but it's really, really, really good. Austin Butler in the title role has a lot of weight he has to carry on his shoulders. He does a lot of the singing. He does all of the dancing. And some of the clips and vocal work is actually Elvis himself, but it's worked and streamlined into the movie in a way that it seems like it's always Butler portraying this role. The times when they do use OG original clips or video of Elvis are really few and far between. And so getting the right actor to play that role, and Butler's a relative unknown before going into this movie. He was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in kind of a bit part, but he does awesome work here. I mean, the singing, the dancing, the acting is all really first class from him. I wouldn't be surprised to, when award season rolls around, see his name brought up regularly, because he's really, really great here. So the movie starts off, though, really focused on Tom Hanks's character, aka the Colonel, who is essentially, he literally is Elvis's manager throughout the course of his career. And this film is really about their relationship. The movie does touch on Elvis's relationship with his father and his mother and his wife Priscilla and his daughter, But really, the forefront of this film is his relationship with the Colonel and the negative impact that he had on Elvis's life. While he ultimately was responsible for his burgeoning career and bringing Elvis to this absolutely what's the word? This monumental level of fame. He's also a big part of the reason why Elvis flamed out so early. He got worked to death working Vegas casinos late in his career, or a Vegas casino late in his career as a resident. And Colonel Parker was ultimately not a good guy and was partially responsible for Elvis's downfall. And the movie really tackles that head on. The movie starts off focusing on the Colonel, which I thought was going to be a detriment to the movie, and it actually isn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. This is still very much Butler's movie, despite Hanks playing an extremely prominent role in the film. It also starts off a little bit chaotic with montages and tons of like overlays and tons of visual flair in the beginning of the movie, and I felt like that was going to overwhelm the rest of the flick, but it doesn't. The movie does manage to settle rather quickly into a very nice rhythm that blends the music and the performances and the acting, and it does a phenomenal job of it. So I really like this movie. If I had to compare it to something like Walk the Line, which I think is like a 10 out of 10, it's not that good, but it's really, really, really good. And I think Luhrmann should be commended for doing what he wants to do, getting really great performances out of all the actors, and letting the film really shine. So I really liked Elvis, highly recommend. And if you like great music, if you want to learn more about Elvis, this is a great movie. So I dig it. Thanks so much for checking out the video. If you liked it, found it helpful, would you consider subscribing? You can also like and follow me on social media. Like the video, follow me on social media at Real HometownZero on Instagram. Also follow me on Rumble. This is all cross-posted there. And I'll see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m.